Hello, good evening, lovely, lovely people. It's so nice to see you. I always look forward to Sunday evenings. Obviously, if I post a story on Instagram or, if I check my DMs or comments or anything, I'm still communicating with people, but I absolutely love these Instagram live sessions because I feel like even though I can't see you, we're still live together, right? So it's amazing. It really is. So I hope you're all well. Thank you very much for joining me again on this Sunday evening. I don't know how much of the weekend you've been able to enjoy with the weather. I don't know much about outside of England, but in England we've had quite a wet and windy weekend. So I don't know how your weekend's been. Have you been out this weekend? Have you been caught in the rain, drenched? I hope not. But yeah, it's turned quite wet, hasn't it? Quite wet and windy. So before I go any further, I'd love to know how your weekend's been. What have you been up to? What did you get to do over the weekend? Did you get to do something that you haven't done in ages? Something you kept pushing back? I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Did you finally get round to doing that? So how was your weekend? This is your share. Yeah, you've been working. Okay, very good. That bank balance is looking healthy. Yeah, very good. Excuse me. Okay, if you could DM me if you have any questions about the courses, if you could DM me separately, that would be really good. Lovely. Okay, Shemshk, is that right? Is that a city maybe? Somebody said you've been there. Very good, very good. Lovely. Hi people. Thank you so much for joining. Lovely to have you. Very good. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm just asking, how has your weekend been? Have you done anything interesting? I mean, the weekend, I don't know about you, but I spend a good part of Friday really looking forward to the weekend because you've had you've had a week of hard work and you look forward to the weekend. When the weekend arrives, blink and it's over. It's Sunday evening, ready for Monday again, honestly. Shemshak, okay, thank you. So that's somewhere that you visited, yeah? Went to church, very good, went to church. There's a little bit of a difference. If we say I went to the church, that means I'm talking about that specific church that, for example, is on that street, okay? But if it's in general, I went to church, okay? Lovely. Traveling from Cardiff to London to visit your family. How lovely is that? Very good. Dealing with eye allergies. Oh my goodness, Samira, I hope it gets better. Have you been to see a doctor maybe? Hopefully you've got something to help. Oh goodness, it must be quite sore and painful as well. Is that right? Maybe lots of, tears and stuff. I hope it gets better. I met my soldier. Okay. We had a summer party in the garden with friends. Lovely. Where was this? Was this in England? If so, you're very lucky. Hi, Atafir, thank you. I work in a nursing home and we had church service today. Lovely, lovely. Weekend comes and goes in the blink of an eye. It really does. It really does. You spend the whole week obviously working really hard. You look forward to the weekend. As soon as it arrives, that's it. Blink and it's over. Yeah. I'm studying life in the UK test. Okay, best of luck. Best of luck. Very good. You're in Germany. Lovely. What's your recommendation as an English teacher to me? I'm also an English teacher. My recommendation for what? Sorry, I'm not sure. Hi. Lovely, lovely. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that. So what did I do? I was just curious. Excuse me. I was just curious to see how the march on London turned out. As you know, yesterday there were thousands of people who marched in London. I was just curious to see how it turned out, so I just checked that on the news. Apart from that, on Friday, I think it was, I actually went to the cinema and I watched a film that I've been waiting for its release for ages, Downton Abbey, the finale. I don't know if any of you like or follow or watch Downton Abbey. Unfortunately, this is the very, very last film that they're going to make in the series. I love watching Downton Abbey because obviously the costumes and that is gorgeous, it's beautiful. But one of the reasons why I like it so much is because it shows that no matter where you're born, no matter how much or how little money you have, no matter what social class you're born into, you can't keep to your own ways. If society changes, you will have to change, right? So that is, I think, a powerful message that this film is trying to show, that it doesn't matter. You could have the King and Queen of England come and visit your house, which they did, didn't they, in a previous episode. So it shows that obviously you have quite a high ranking in society. Even still, if times change, you're going to have to change as well. So your money can't save you. Your power, your influence, your social class can't save you. That, I think, is a really powerful message that this film is trying to show. And I really like that message. Yeah, it was really interesting. Right, I've just started. Oh wow, Roya, I've just started to see it since yesterday. Finished season 1. You watched the whole season in one day. Nice. Very good. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. You are brilliant. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Raining. Yes, it is raining right now. Absolutely. Yes. So that's what I did on Friday. And then obviously the rest of the weekend, I had a lovely weekend with the kids at home, which is really nice. Now that my kids are back at school, I don't get to see them that much, you know. I only see them when they walk in, they're exhausted. Obviously, they've either been to the gym or they've been out with their friends or whatever after school. So when they come in, they're absolutely exhausted. They can just about manage, hi, mom. That's it. There's no more energy left. And they go upstairs and change and wash and everything. And obviously we see each other around meal times and have a little family chat, but then that's it, you know. So the weekends are when we can spend a lot more time together, which I love. I like very much. I think a lot of you, it doesn't matter where you're from, when you see your kids growing up so quickly, you start cherishing these moments. You know, my kids are teenagers now. One's in college, one's doing GCSE, and I know, even though I don't want that day to come, I know my kids will leave the nest one day, as do all kids, right? Now, I know there's a bit of a cultural difference in some countries, in some cultures. Maybe it's the girl that leaves the house, daddy's house, but the boy stays with his family. I don't know, in some parts maybe that happens, in some countries. But obviously in the UK, both of them leave the nest. Boy and girl, they go, they start their independent lives together. They make mistakes, learn from their mistakes. It's an exciting time, obviously, for the kids. But as a parent, you know, watching your child grow up and leave the nest and knowing that that day is going to happen and it's going to come round, you know, very soon, you try to cling on to these moments that you have with your kids together. Yeah, yeah. At the first point I'd like to address is you're the best. Is it IR Australia or in Australia? If I am the best in Australia, oh my goodness, that is such a huge compliment. Thank you. I've never been to Australia before, but obviously I know the culture and the language spoken in Australia is very similar to the UK. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for listening. Thank you very much. Samira, my kids have left the nest. Your kids have left the nest. I'm sorry. Cling on, Atifa. Yeah, when you cling on, you want to keep it. You know, you don't want to lose it. Parny on independency and so on. Yeah, absolutely. It's the story of life, isn't it? We were there, weren't we, one day? we were teenagers, then we grew up, and obviously cultures are different. But one day we also left the house and the home of mummy and daddy that we were so used to go on to the next chapter of our lives, right? So, yeah. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for, excuse me, taking part in that. Okay, so tonight's lesson is about how to keep the conversation going, okay? And in the middle of it, I'm going to try and teach maybe a couple of idioms. I've got a slang here, slang expression. I've got a phrasal verb, so hopefully you'll find the language interesting as well. But hopefully you'll agree with me that just vocabulary and grammar isn't everything. There are other things that we need in this recipe for speaking English, right? Obviously, we need to know about the culture of speaking. We need to know how to keep the conversation going, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. Obviously, we need to listen. Listening skills are very important as well. So there are lots of ingredients in having a good, enjoyable conversation. I didn't say a correct and perfect English conversation. That's not important. An enjoyable conversation is what I'm talking about. So there are different ingredients. Tonight, we're going to be touching on culture, but mainly looking at a few techniques that I hope these will help you in continuing the conversation. You might ask yourself, Layla, where did this topic come from? Why are you talking about this tonight? It actually came from quite a few students who've been in touch with me. And one lady in particular, she told me a story that really broke my heart. She said, Layla, my daughter's in reception, which is between nursery and year one, so quite young. She said, my daughter's in reception, and I've received invitations from some of her friends for me and her to go to her friend's birthday party. Right? When they're that young, you don't like to send your child alone. Obviously, you accompany the child, don't you, to a birthday party? And this lady was saying, I really want to go. I want to get to know other mums. You know, this is a fantastic opportunity for me, but I don't know what to say. I don't know if someone approaches me and talks to me. I don't know beyond, hi, how are you? Which one's your child? How do they like school? How do they like their teacher? Beyond these questions, I don't know what else to say. And she said, usually I find that after maybe 2 or 3 minutes, my conversation skills dry up and I have nothing else to say. And she says, I usually see in the other person's face that they say, oh, okay, lovely to meet you, and they leave. I want to continue the conversation, but I just don't know how to. And because of this lady said, I've just stopped taking my daughter to friends' birthday parties. It really broke my heart. It really did. It gave me goosebumps. It gave me goosebumps. Honestly, it really touched me, because I remember when my kids were that age, that's one thing that they really looked forward to, going to a friend's birthday party, right? And me getting to know other parents and stuff as well. So it really, really touched me. It really upset me, and obviously I got really emotional. That's one story. Another one is a gentleman who worked in a company. He is still an engineer. And I said, okay, so, you know, how are you at work? And he said, whenever people aren't working, if they're getting together, for example, to go for a drink after work, if they want to just get together and have lunch, whatever, when we're not working, I pull myself out of that situation. I either use that time to just go and sit at my computer and just work alone, or if people are meeting up outside of work, I just go to the gym. I just go for a swim. I go to the gym. I don't join them. And I said, why? Why not? And again, this was the problem. This gentleman who was an engineer, obviously very capable, very experienced, his English wasn't bad. He just said, I don't feel comfortable. I don't know how to keep the conversation going. So what's the point in going with these people to have a drink and stuff when I'm just going to be sitting there quiet and people are going to be really awkward and uncomfortable around me? What's the point in going? I'd rather go to the gym. So I've had so many of these really heartbreaking stories. And I thought, if there's something I can share, even if it's just one little tip or technique that you can take away with you, use it, and for it to help you, then obviously I'll do that. So what I've got here tonight is I've got three little tips that will hopefully help you in your conversation. I'm just going to go through them very quickly and then I'll elaborate on each one, okay, and give examples as well. The first one, I mean, a lot of them, as soon as I give you the title, it's going to be self-explanatory, but I'm going to explain it. The first one is, when you're in a conversation, be curious, not clever. I'm going to explain what that means, because clever in English, it's got different meanings, okay? The second tip I'm going to share with you is when you're listening to somebody in a conversation and now it's your turn to speak, share a story if you want to, but don't make it too long. Because remember, you're still talking about the topic of that person and you're just joining in the conversation. You don't want to make it all about you, because then that person gets tired, right? And the last one is, when you're in a conversation, it's your turn to speak. Share, we've just mentioned experience, share a memory, share maybe an opinion. These are things that you can share for how to continue the conversation, okay? So that was just a brief overview of what we're going to be talking about. Let's get deeper into each one. So the first one was, be curious, not clever. You find that I was like this as well, actually. Whenever I'm speaking to a native Farsi speaker, right? Whenever I'm speaking in Farsi, at first I used to be so uncomfortable, because while I was listening to this Farsi speaker, I was thinking to myself, how can I respond in Farsi to showcase and to show off my Farsi vocabulary, right? So that's how I used to feel, because I want to show this other person, yes, Farsi is my second language, but I still speak it. I wanted to show this second person that I know Farsi as well. Let me show you my range of vocabulary. You know, it's normal. But then I realized, when I do this, instead of actually listening to what the person's saying, and instead of worrying, oh, what was that word? What was that word? I didn't understand that. Instead of worrying about this, I need to be curious about what the person's saying, not really worry about what I'm going to respond with, you know, what I'm going to say. So in the English language, the word clever can have two completely different meanings. One is very smart, very intelligent. Oh, that's clever. Well done. How did you do that? That's one meaning of clever. Another clever is actually negative. Oh, are you trying to be clever? No, you shouldn't do that. Are you trying to be clever? So another clever is, for example, when you're trying to cheat the system, or when you're trying to outsmart somebody else, okay? That's also being clever. We use the same word, but it has a negative meaning. So we don't want to try and be clever in a conversation. We just want to be curious. And then when it's our turn to speak, then we can speak. Let's say, for instance, somebody says to me, yeah, I'm just on my way to do some shopping. There's this shampoo I've started using and it's working miracles. So somebody has said to me, Layla, I'm on my way to do some shopping. I want to get this shampoo I've started using recently and it does miracles, okay? Now I can either just say, oh, right, interesting. Well, I'm on my way to the park. I can either say that, but that's a shame because I've just killed that opportunity for a conversation, right? I need to be curious. What shampoo is it you're using? I want to use it if you're so happy with it. Maybe not straight away, but I'd love to know, what shampoo is it? What benefits have you seen from it? Why is it that, you know, you say it's working wonders? What does it do for you? So that's where I need to be curious. And for example, I can say, oh, right. Okay, so spill the beans. That's my idiom. Spill the beans. What is it? What shampoo is it? And how long have you been using it? As soon as I say this, obviously that person becomes quite happy and excited because I'm asking something about themselves. As human beings, I know we might have some psychologists in this group as well. As human beings, we love to talk about ourselves, don't we? That's human nature. So when somebody asks me about myself, I get all excited as a human being. So that's what I'm doing to that person. When I say to them, oh, right, so what shampoo is it you're going for? Go for, which is my phrasal verb. What shampoo is it you're going for? Or, spill the beans. What is it you're using? How come it works miracles? And yeah, tell me what's going on. When I say this is one way for me to continue the conversation. Now that person is going to really open up about their experience of using the shampoo, how they came to know about it, how long they've been using it, how it's been affecting them, and I might actually learn something for myself, okay? So when somebody says something to me, instead of just saying, oh, okay, cool, well, and talk about myself, it's really nice to be able to relate to what that person's talking about. And once that person has told me about how lovely that shampoo is, then I can start, tip number 3, talk about my memory, maybe my experience, my opinion, okay? That's one example. The second example, let's say, for instance, something very simple, very, very simple. Someone says to you, oh, you know what? I love coffee. I love coffee, especially in the morning. Okay, it's a very simple sentence that they've shared with me. Now, if I want to kill, we say kill the conversation. That means stop it. If I want to kill the conversation, I say, oh, right, okay, well, enjoy, see you later. That's not a conversation really, is it? That's more of like small talk, very, very small talk. But we want to continue the conversation. So this is where that person's just shared their experience. I'm going to share my experience. Oh, you like coffee? Same. That's very informal. It means I am the same as you, or me too. Instead of saying me too, a lot of people now, it's the trend in English. A lot of people now say same. That means I am the same as you. Same. So I would say, oh, same, right? Yeah, I can't start my day without my cup of cappuccino, latte, Americano, whatever it is that you drink. I find that I turn into a dragon lady. Obviously, that's a joke. I find I turn into a dragon lady if I don't have my coffee. So here I am sharing my personal experience. That person shared their experience and I'm doing the same, right? Or I could say, oh my goodness, I can't stand coffee. Oh, I don't like the bitter taste that it leaves in my mouth, or I just don't like it. I much prefer tea, or I much prefer herbal tea, and then I give the reason for it. Okay, how are we doing so far? Let's see, dragon lady. Yes, dragon lady. It's obviously it's a joke. It's sarcasm, right? But I'm just trying to show that if I don't have my coffee, for example, I'm really moody and I just can't relax. I can't function very well. That's what we mean by dragon lady. I turn into a dragon lady as well. Yeah, I think a lot of people do, right? So just from a very, very simple sentence, someone says, I love coffee. I say, oh, same. I can't start my day without whatever. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, oh my goodness, I'm like a dragon lady, for example. I asked once a friend what shampoo she uses because her hair looked much healthier. She answered, shampoos doesn't work as well for different hair. Yes, absolutely. Obviously, it's the same as cream, isn't it? Or it's the same as medication, that it doesn't work the same on everybody. Absolutely. But this is obviously just for conversation, isn't it? You're so nice and lovely. Oh, thank you, Mariam. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Cup of tea always. I've got Zena. Cup of tea always. Lovely. Okay. So is everybody okay so far? We've shared 2 techniques up to now. One is that we said be curious. Don't be clever. Yeah. Be curious about what the person is saying. Don't worry about trying to show off your English. Because I don't know about you. This actually happened to me with driving. Okay. With driving. Donkeys years ago, when I was learning how to drive. I have a all of them have expired now, but I have a driver's license from 4 different countries. from Iran, obviously, from the UK, from America, and also from Canada. 3 of them have expired, but my driver's license from England is still okay. It's in date. It's still in date. I remember when I was still at the beginning of learning how to drive, and I remember my instructor was quiet, and I was so focused on all the regulations, all the maneuvers, where my hands have to be, where my eyes have to be looking, my mirror, you know, my shoulder check, all these kind of things. And my instructor got really angry with me actually at one stage, and he didn't say anything, poor thing. He just started talking about a normal topic. He said, okay, Layla, so how's college? How are your studies going? It's when I was at college, I was learning. And I started talking about college, and this instructor of mine kept me focused on talking about college, even though I was learning driving. I'm in the car, and I kept asking him, which way do I turn, right, left, which way? And he would say left, and then he'd continue about college. At the end of the lesson, I said, is there a reason why you're so interested in my college? Are you thinking of joining or what? He said, Layla, when you were really focusing on your driving and you were quiet and just focusing on your driving was, he said a word that I'm not going to repeat right now, but it just meant your driving was terrible. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it, but he meant your driving was horrific. It was horrible. He said, as soon as I started talking about college and I distracted you from all the rules and regulations of driving, your driving became so smooth, Layla. You were not a dangerous driver anymore, suggesting when I was thinking about the rules and regulations, I was a dangerous driver. So he said, as soon as you stopped focusing so much on what you should and shouldn't be doing, your driving became a lot smoother. You went on autopilot, so all the rules and regulations are there, but when you're not focusing on it too much, your performance was much better. What do you think? What do you think I'm trying to say using this example in this English lesson? I just told you about my driving experience, that when I really focused on the rules and regulations, I was horrible at driving. Once I didn't focus too much on the rules and regulations, I just focused on talking and just relaxed, I was much better. What do you think I'm trying to say? What is the main message of this example? Hello. I remember I always had an issue with blind spot. Yeah, it's a dangerous place, isn't it? Blind spot, if we don't check it. Yeah, it could be dangerous. Samira, for our English, not to focus too much about what we are saying. Right. Thank you. I don't agree with your instructor, okay? Me work out, be yourself. Very good. Okay. No need to focus on grammar and mistakes. Thank you. Asadi RT, thank you. Learn through daily real life conversations. Lovely, Mary. Samira, don't be too hard on yourself while talking English. Very good. And Bollywood, hi Bollywood, thank you for joining. Don't focus a lot on everything you're saying, Mahbube. If you're not constantly thinking about grammar and speaking correct, speak the language as it is. It makes you more relaxed. The message is not to be frightened about talking too much. Very good. Just keep speaking. Enjoy the learning. Lovely. That's it. You have concluded my lesson for these points that I've just mentioned. Excellent. So it's the same in English. When you talk to somebody, I remember I was talking to a gentleman years ago. I was talking to a gentleman in college actually, and he was literally sweating. He was talking to me in English. He was literally sweating. I could see beads of sweat on his forehead. And I said, are you okay? Are you in pain? Are you okay? You're sweating. And he said, yeah, I'm focusing a lot on speaking English. That's why I'm sweating. Oh my goodness, the level of focus that this guy must have been experienced, that he was actually sweating. We want to stay away from that, right? And you see around you, if you live in an English-speaking country, you see other people from other countries as well, don't you? That English is their second language. Do they care? Not do they care, that's not right, sorry. Do they worry too much about making mistakes? No, absolutely not. Not at all. If they go to the doctors, they go to school, they go to work, supermarket, bank, absolutely anywhere, they speak. They don't worry about, the fact that, oh, my English isn't perfect. They just speak. Maybe the instructor wanted to reduce your stress. Absolutely, absolutely. Driving is something related to physical movement, but speaking a language is choosing the right words. Yes, absolutely. But I think both, when you're speaking a second language and also when you're driving, learning to drive, both of them, you're learning something new, aren't you? And it all comes from here, even though driving is very physical, obviously. But again, it all comes from here, I think. And so when we're learning something new, be it riding a bike, cooking something, fixing maybe an electric circuit, whatever it is, I'm learning something for the first time. And, I'm in the practice mode. I think with some things, it might just be easier. I don't know. What matters is to make yourself understood. You can learn through trial and error. Absolutely. You're giving Kate Middleton vibe to me. Thank you. I think that's a compliment. Thank you. In spite your mistakes, just trying to speak. Absolutely. So all of you lovely, lovely people here, you know what to do, right? It's just like putting it into practice, isn't it? That's, yeah. Okay. Let's go to the third and final one, and then I'll call it a night. I'll call it a night and let you get on with your lovely lives. So the third one, when I'm in conversation, someone's talking to me, when it's my turn to speak, I can be curious, not clever. I need to listen to what's going on. I can share a personal experience. I can also talk about a memory. Or if I don't have a memory of something, I haven't experienced something, I have an opinion, surely. Excuse me. I have an opinion, right? So this is where we can talk about maybe a certain opinion that we have about something if we haven't experienced or, we don't have a memory about it. Let's say, excuse me, somebody was talking to me about Chinese food. And there's only one or two Chinese dishes that I've tried. I haven't tried all of them. And this one, they were talking about a certain type of noodle that I'd never tried before. And they were trying to say, oh, try it, it's really nice and that kind of thing. And obviously, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But while we were in conversation, I hadn't experienced this noodle before. I'd never tried it before. So I had no memory. Excuse me. I've got a frog in my throat. I've got a frog in my throat. Excuse me. That's an idiom. Sorry, that's not real. That's an idiom. And I remember I had to rely on my opinion. I wanted to give my opinion that, oh, okay, so obviously, on the outside, I can see it's got noodles. I can see it's got green sprouts. I can smell it's got some really nice spices. So yeah, I'm guessing this would be lovely. It would be like having a symphony playing in your mouth. Wow, that's such an idiom. It's like having a symphony of spices playing this kind of lovely music in your mouth, if you have all of these ingredients and spices and stuff together. So there, I just had to share an opinion. I had no experience or no memory. So what I'm trying to say from tonight's lesson, that a lot of you have really helped me with this. Thank you very much. I've got a frog, ribbit, yeah, the animal, frog. I've got a frog in my throat. That's the idiom, frog. Thank you, Otafe. So what I'm trying to say from tonight's lesson is, first of all, let's not be worried about speaking English. Secondly, if we want to continue the conversation, that I know a lot of people do, they want to socialize, they want to expand their social circle, they want to get new friends. Obviously, that's fantastic. One thing that's holding them back is not knowing how to continue the conversation. And right at the start, I said I'm going to mention a cultural point, and here it is. The cultural point is, if someone's talking, let's say, for example, someone's talking to me, and let's say I've got a splitting headache. Oh, I've got a splitting headache. I've got a really bad headache. Do you think I'm going to be really talkative, or am I going to be quiet? Obviously, I'm going to be quiet because I've got a splitting headache. I'm not going to get engaged in a conversation and stuff, am I? Because I'm in pain. So one sign that we show culturally, if we do not want to continue a conversation, is we go quiet, or we don't really, we don't try to encourage the other person to say lots of things. I might, if someone speaks to me, I might just say, oh, right, nice, that's it. I might just say, oh, interesting. That's it. And when we use these very small words, the other person picks up that, oh, Layla's not too interested about speaking about this topic. Okay, that's a cultural thing. Now, I know a lot of people who are learning English, it's when they use these very small words in their answers, it's not that they don't want to continue the conversation. It's just that they're not sure how to speak. Not how to speak. They're not sure what to say. But hopefully tonight, with these few tips and techniques, now you feel a little bit more confident, because everybody, it doesn't matter what your language is, everybody has memory of something. Everybody's experienced something. Everybody has an opinion, right? Everybody, has experienced certain amount of life, and this is what we can use in our conversations. This is what we can talk about. Okay, doesn't matter how good our English is. Okay, the other person picks up. Absolutely, the other person picks up. Lump in my throat means you are sad. Yeah, if I've got a frog in my throat, it means I have to clear my throat. Clear my throat, which is what I was doing. If I've got a lump in my throat, it means I'm just about to start crying. That's when I have a lump in my throat. Okay, very good, very helpful, interesting, fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending this session. I hope there was something in there for you. Very, very nice to have you. I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time, which is 8:30 p.m. Iran. And then depending on the other countries that you live in, hopefully you can ascertain what time it is for you. If you live in other countries, just one thing to say, and that is that I have a link in my bio for waiting lists. Okay. If you want to start learning English with me, like hundreds of other students, now is the time. I've got a link in my bio. You click on the link, you just put your name, information on a waiting list. This will get you a very good discount, and I will be starting the launch of 2 of my very, very successful courses this week. I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to start the launch. But as soon as I start the launch, that waiting list with the discount finishes. So if you put your name now on the waiting list, you get the discount. If you don't put your name on the waiting list, you miss out on a huge discount. That is, if you want to learn English with me and with hundreds of other students who've also walked this path, and I've had some very good feedback and some lovely stories that they've shared with me. Great results. Okay, thank you so much. The link I'm talking about is in my bio. Please go there, put your name on the waiting list, and grab that excellent discount for yourself. I'll see you next Sunday. Take care.